Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Industry in Transition Zoom call. I am very pleased to have our friend Doug Rubenstein here with us. Thanks for being with us, Doug. He is the Chief Operating Officer, we got that straight, of Benjamin Edwards. So glad to have you here.
Thank you, Tony. Really happy to be here. We're really very happy with the partnership we have with you all. This is material to our business, and we're ecstatic, quite frankly.
Great. Well, we're happy too. And I know, well, let's just get into it, because I know there's certainly enough going on in our world, right? Where I hope we're kind of getting post-COVID. We get mixed signals on that, but we're going post-COVID and we're deep in inflation. And, how are you guys feeling? How, because there's some headwinds, there's taxes, there's inflation. How are they doing?
I think they're doing very well. We have well over 300 advisors now, and our whole focus is on serving them and their clients. And that's not to be even a light statement. We take a very long view, as you do, and in many of the things that you have commented on in the industry. So we're not wanting to jump around too much for intermediate trends or even market activity. This is about, for us, our advisors, their clients, and we like to often call ourselves a forever company. And we do have a long history, as you learned about during your visit with Tad on a recent podcast. I would tell you that there is a lot that we all learn at looking at such things as even going back to the '87 crash or even the morning of 9/11. And what we learned back then is take a deep breath, care about what's going on with your people. This is a people business, and we are a people company. These are our friends and colleagues. So stand back, be humble, listen, hear. You'll see in the video that ran earlier this week on your site, one of our speakers on that video, a gentleman named Todd Branstad, a very successful advisor, and it's probably the most seminal moment of all of our video activity. He chokes up simply by talking about Tad. Yeah. And Tad means talking about the Edwards legacy and the Edwards family. And I still choke up, and I was seeing thousands of clips of this as we were editing it down. It's a moment that is big. It talks about caring. So we've got a company we're running here, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure. But it's about advisors, their clients, and a collection of a lot of us all as a family together in this company that, we love it like it's our own, right? Because it is our own. And, it's special.
And I think that long-term view, I mean, that's what you need when you have volatility or things going on. This is stuff we've seen before, right? Or in some guise of it, and there are things that endure, right? The important things endure. And I do want to talk about this forever company idea. I wonder, so that's your guys. I know you talk to advisors every day, right? You grow in the company. People are always, looking for a new home, and they're knocking on your door too. What are you hearing from advisors outside of the firm in terms of what they see coming next down the road?
I think it depends on the demographics of the advisor. What chapter are they in? Right. We have many people who joined us in their earlier days of the company who were, as we call, legacy A.G. Edwards advisors. They felt very, upset about what happened to A.G. Edwards, and they were looking for might be their final chapter, their final home, and quote, come back home to everything that we mean to them. Then there are people who are in interim chapters or temporary chapters. And then we also see, luckily, we see a lot of opportunity with people who are coming to their first chapter. And we need to be very judicious on how we do that. But the future is about advisors that are at the beginning of their career as well. As Tad shared with you, he was 31 years old when he left the corporate headquarters.
I'm not sure our industry does a great job. And, I feel this way about bringing in new people and how we're going to do it. It's harder than when you and I started, right? We have to acknowledge it's different, right, than when you and I started. You can't pick up the phone and cold call across the country like we used to do out of our New York office, and it's just harder to build a business.
So we talk about Coke and Diet Coke. And a number of years ago, we opened up a second subsidiary of our company, which we call Edwards Wealth Management, which is our RIA. We're very well known in the industry, and back at AG Edwards, most certainly known as one of the 100 best companies to work for in America, and it's the broker dealer. And that is a growth engine for us. We know it well. It's very important that we bring on board every advisor with kid gloves, and we handle everything to help them. We're partners in there. And then the Edwards Wealth Management piece is the Diet Coke per se. But when you cut through all of that, what are we offering to advisors? Whatever shape or form they are, and how they want to do their business and how they want to practice. So to the core, we need to have all the items on the platform that they need to serve their clients. And whether that is private client service activities, all of our subject matter experts on IRAs, annuities, life insurance, bonds, equities, standard pieces that must be on the platform that we have. But we also are adding in things like recruiting activities, corporate communication activities, social media, all these tools of the day that our advisors want to serve their clients. But I would tell you equally as important, though, is that we have a compliance structure and a legal and law department that really has an attitude of advocacy. We're all in this together. We know we live in a highly competitive and a heavily regulated industry, and we need to have those pieces, and we do. And it's about doing it well with a real sense we're in this together. I grew up with it.
Speaking of that, all in this together thing, one thing I always find interesting when I talk to Benjamin Edwards people, I get something I don't really get at other places. There's a whole thing of, are you happy? How you feel happy? And what I like about that is that it reminds me of the good things about America and all. We put in the, Thomas Jefferson writes, the pursuit of happiness, right? It's not happiness because that's hard to get, but are you getting there? It seems to be a noble thing to try to get to. It just gives everybody an idea that we're trying here. We're working on it, and every day we're working on trying to be happy and make that work.
It's actually not that difficult to do. There's a phrase that I've fallen in love with that says, you can't break sunshine. And it actually came from a friend at the company here who was describing my wife, and that's a personal issue. So I adore this phrase, but you're right. Are you smiling? Are you happy? You go through this once. Do we trust each other? It's everything in our mission statement about respect and trust and growing together. I regularly, and Ted referenced this in his visit with you, I regularly ask a recruit who's coming to visit, and they're coming in, countless times in our home office. And if I don't know them, I'll say respectfully, in your business part of your life, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? And it's great if they have a high number, you feel great for them. That's fantastic. It's a bummer when they're living through business life and it's a low number. And I'm telling you, the average is probably a 6 to a -6. So we think there's a real opportunity here for people to be with us and enjoying the run. This is, people here talk about we, not they. So, again,
that sense of belonging is something that, advisors miss maybe about. We get nostalgic about the old days. There's plenty that's great today, right? With the future is bright for our industry. But I think people miss being part of something versus just an individual being out there, by themselves. I've very often said we have we're an apprenticeship business, but you never stop being an apprentice, right? Even you, and certainly I speak for myself, you learn something new all the time when you talk to advisors. You got to be together. There's got to be a sense of community to get that really rolling.
Well, so Tony, that's interesting how you say that. And it's about adjusting. Living in St. Louis, we at times use an analogy that business is like moving up the leg of the Gateway Arch. And when you come to town and we have that great dinner,
Yeah, we'll do
we
it.
can even take a tour in the arch, but there is a train of sorts with maybe 4 or 5 cars that goes up the side of the arch, and it forever needs to recalibrate itself to be perpendicular with the ground until you arrive at the top. And I think our business is like that. You need to evolve, you need to recalibrate and adjust at times, depending on what's going on in the market, depending on trends, even how practices are done, how advisors come on board. But having said that, I think the art of the deal is that we don't break our cultural priorities, our values, and we're still people. And so the success is we're, again, under the Forever company, we're going to go through a lot of recalibrations for sure. We don't even know what those are going to be. Look at the last 2 years and how the whole world's had to adjust. But if we recalibrate, but stick to our values, I think that's how we succeed. We're a private C Corp, but we are very much all the mindset of a partnership with all of our owners. These are our employees and our friends.
Right.
And ownership is long-term as well. And it's another piece that bonds us together. These are all the, these are all the corporate pieces from a foundation. And we talk about cement of the foundation and all these pieces so that we can promise our advisors, which is the business with their clients and serving, that we are reliable. You can guarantee on us, we're consistent. We don't just keep changing. I remember saying to somebody, it's not like the plates are moving around underneath your feet. We have a very volatile industry. Ownerships change. We're a forever private company. Flourish, have a great time, enjoy what you're doing here. We're purposeful about it. And we don't want to sound like that. That's not like waxing on. And we don't want to sound like we're better than the next person, but we're pretty darn proud of what's been put together.
I think the idea of a forever company, there are a lot of, companies out there today that advisors are literally, buying into or moving to equity, but they're looking, there's a liquidity event somewhere that may be messy, maybe not coming. And there's something about stability. That's another thing I think separates you guys a little bit is the idea of a forever company. I wanted to talk about that too.
We have to help our advisors on succession activities. We need to offer, I love to use this phrase. You remember the commercial for Oldsmobile? This is not like your father's Oldsmobile.
Yes.
Well, our operations, technology, infrastructure areas of the firm, you talk about, they're not like our father's Oldsmobile. This is all about service and mobility and contemporary delivery of service. These are the things that have to adjust as we're moving through the market, but in spirit and really true to the core, they're very much the same of the Edwards legacy, the philosophies that, I said in one of the videos, I pinch myself that I get to be part of this. And that might sound corny to some, but it can really choke you up a little bit because we're doing it for the right reasons.
So, we talk about ownership, and I know what that's like. We have owned RIAs and have been in companies that have great culture like Mason and things like that. But and we know owners behave a certain way, right? Maybe versus what some other people do. What does it mean for them to have input? Because we've talked a little bit about this,
Yes.
about so an owner, you feel, I have a say. What does that mean at Benjamin Edwards if I have a say or I have some input?
Well, you actually have a seat at the table, and there's several ways that we do that. In addition to the ownership piece, nobody's a number here. People call up and you just say, hi, it's Bob, and I'm from X office. And you say, Bob, how are you doing? And how's your son doing? It is amazing the recall that Tad has of family members, ages of kids, history, successes. It's just, I sit in awe a little bit of this ability to remember, but we have pieces in place from our brokerage board and our holding company board. We have what is called our RAP. It's our regional advisor panel, advisors who are regularly commenting in, helping us solution activities. We have another piece called FAB, F-A-A-B, which is our financial assistance advisor panel board that brings input in from sales assistants as well. When you're at a leadership forum with us, we're with you. It's a time to celebrate. It's a time to get more feedback. Ears are open. Tad was an advisor. He's been in that spot and knows what that is like and how important the feedback and input loop is. Really interesting. In one of the recruit stories, I still think about this often. We had a group coming in to visit with us. This is maybe 8 or so years ago. And they said, where we are now at the time, they felt like they were being viewed as an asset. And they literally said, it's feel like we're being analyzed as an ROA. And this really rang true because I used to do financial institution investment banking. So this kicked in real quickly and they said, we want to be at a place, and they use the term where we're viewed as ROE, that we're entrepreneurs, that we're running businesses, respectful practices, and we don't want to be viewed the same as the furniture in this conference room I'm in.
So
man, that's a bullseye on spirit and intent and respect for the advisor.
So we have in our business, though, there are, and I always make this distinction, and I know where you and Tad sit on this, and there are deal guys and there are people who run businesses. And a lot of the very senior people in our industry on the big bank side, certainly in the M&A world, for sure in the M&A world, it's very hard to find a businessman in that group. They're all deal guys. They're looking at the numbers, they're making this thing. They're not looking at what the present value versus, if you have a forever company, you're looking at, you're investing now in the future. You know, I mean, if you're a deal guy, you're looking to maximize what you can out of this transaction, then you're on to the next one. You don't give a crap, right? So, but our business is rife with deal guys. And that mentality is rife with people. And I remember from my experiences at, you know, both with my own places and with Legg Mason, you know, we used to say, where's the love? It's not funny. I mean, but some people don't get it. It's not for everybody. Some people don't care. They want a deal. They want this. They don't care that everybody's nice. I don't gotta, but the people you want, I imagine, do.
Well, I was raised under this thought that, and we've actually used a drawing of a house with columns in the front in some of our recruiting materials when we go out to talk to people about the Edwards opportunity and the Edwards story. And I was raised that the roof will not stand strong if any one of the columns is weak. And what we described in this drawing for our materials is everything from service to integrity and core values to protecting the company that we own and all of the personal activities as well. And certainly all the infrastructure that we talked about. You need to be able to serve clients and we need to be able to deliver the materials which we do so that our advisors have what they want to provide advice. But if there is a break in that structure, the roof's not going to stand strong. And you know, again,
there's a dichotomy. There's a weird disconnect, I think, between these advisors who run their businesses and when they look to move, they're thinking like deal guys. When they look to move, they don't look at I hope for the most part, I don't think they do. They don't look at their clients like that. They look at their clients as, I got to care for these people, I got to nurture them, or else they wouldn't be successful, right? They have to look out for them. But when they're looking to move, you can't look at it like a deal in my mind. You got to look at it like, I have to align my values with the firm that I'm going with. And it should be the same values I share with my clients. And because if it's not, this whole thing just, you made some money, but to what end? It's not a forever deal.
So interestingly, you say that today of all days. So we're meeting about next generation growth. And one of the premises or suggestions is looking at recruiting growth is a lot like looking at clients. And in this day and age, you need to spend a lot of time to learn and understand what their goals and aspirations are. Back to what chapter are they in? They might want many chapters in their career, depending where they're starting now. And we need to be in tune with that. We need to listen and hear that. Our advisors do such a phenomenal job with clients. That's what we can learn from here on further growth and recruiting. We're very pleased with our growth right now. Knock on wood, our brand is resonating. But we are, again, very mindful. We live in a highly competitive industry, and we need to be on our game delivering what advisors want to grow their own practices.
It's always a very good rule of thumb. If an advisor is a jerk, his clients are jerks. There is no question, because you attract like-minded people, and there are jerk advisors who have clients that are just going to give you no end of hassle. Whereas a really nice advisor, if she's really nice, she's good, her clients are good. They're well taken care of. She's taking care of all the problems, and they're only reaching out to you on the once in a while when they need something. So you got to know that going in. You got to have a policy that says no jerks, or no whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I think you actually said that to Tad too, and if
Okay,
I'm recalling,
it's a universal truth.
you know, we don't. We've learned a lot about the high road. I mean, there's a lot, and any business has its complications, and we're all people, and you know, we don't know each other's backstories.
Yeah.
But the ability to collect together and operate this company in business and in service, we stay. I'll take you back to the messages at 9/11 and 1987 crash. We need to stay humble. I mean, we are lucky to be able to have all that we have as a successful business. We don't take it lightly, and we got to make sure our ego stays in our private opinions in check, because it's not really about us. And the world has all different shapes and sizes to it.
Yeah, it does.
So
No question about it. Anything I didn't ask you about that you wanted to talk about? Because we're getting kind of near the 20 something.
yeah, no. I mean, this is terrific. There are a couple phrases we use internally. One is one Edwards, well, one band, many sounds, one Edwards is kind of the phrase in its entirety. And then we often say onward, upward, and funward. And they're just light enough phrases to resonate in various messaging paths that we take when we're together as a team. There is this great feeling. We were together as home office officers on a call. We're getting ready to move back into our new space. We were on a virtual call on Wednesday afternoon. And it's, how do you create the bond? How do you stay together? Everybody's lives are moving along, but we are on this purposeful mission that Tad champions, and you know, that's a great thing. It's just a great thing.
And look, I'm glad you guys are doing it. It's a challenging time to do that with the COVID and the remoteness. It's very difficult to maintain culture and keep everybody online, but you guys done a good job with that. So I think that's well done.
Tony, you know, many thanks again. We are really pleased with the partnership with you all in your organization, and it's a great way for us to. We often say we like to stand on the rooftop of this building and just sing everything that we're excited about, and let more people know about what we're doing.
Right, so we won't keep it a secret, that's for sure. but look, it's good. It's good to talk to you again, and we'll do it again. Look forward to seeing you.
Real pleasure. We have a lot of things to talk about. At some point, we want to near term get on with you and talk about Edwards Wealth Management, which is a very exciting leg. That's about understanding where the industry is going. You've written a lot about RIA and BD, and I think we're fortunate we can continue to be in both of these avenues, and whatever might modify down the road, you know, who knows what happens down the road.
We don't know. We just got to be ready for it, you know. Thanks a lot. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. A real pleasure. Thank you.